Okay, and when we get started here, we're going to be seated in a way that's most comfortable. A lot of people like to sit with their legs crossed, an easy pose. One of the great things about starting is if you find that when you're seated here, your spine is really rounded or you're just not able to relax, you can sit up on a block. So I'm just going to slide a block under the sit bones just like that. So if you have a big thick book or a block or a pillow, you can always use that too. And what that does is it just takes your hips as high as your knees or a little higher than your knees, and it makes it a lot more comfortable just to be here, especially at the end when we sit for our long meditation. And so I'm pretty flexible, my hips, I can sit like this to begin with, but later I'll use a block when we sit for meditation. So we're gonna start seated like this. You can close your eyes and let your palms rest over your knees and let your palms face the sky. So this is that physical form of being receptive, open. And I want you to bring your mind into your breath. Watch the breath come in. And watch the breath flow out. Notice how you feel every time you exhale. And just stay with this awareness of your breath. We'll set our intention for coming together this morning. And the intention that I have for coming together with you is that we stimulate the flow of chi, or the flow of energy within, and allow that to help us restore an overall sense of vibrancy and vitality in the body. So if there's any chi stuck, we're going to allow it to move, flow. And take another deep breath in. Here we'll open the mouth and exhale. And then once again, breathe in and out through the nose. Okay, officially I'm welcoming you in now. We're all centered. And we're going to take the hands and turn them so that you're pointing behind you, and slide your hands under your armpits up against your side ribs. Okay, so the top part of your hand is right up against those side ribs, as close to the armpits as you can. And then feel your elbows drop down. This is going to stretch, yeah. It's going to stretch out the top of the hands. You'll feel this through the wrists. It might be painful. If it's painful, just be very easy here, very light on the press. And as you come back into that breath, slowing the breath down. Feel your shoulders relax, your neck relax. And then you can just shake it out, release. You feel a little achy in the top of the hands, that's okay. Do little circles. And then we'll interlace the fingers and press the palms forward. And then draw your arms up along the ears. Okay, you can press those palms up, up, up as the shoulders draw it down. Feel the sit bones root down. Press down into the earth as you press up to the sky. And then we'll twist to the right. So just spinning to the right. Take your right hand behind you, your left hand over your thigh. So once we get into this spot, we'll take a moment here. Breathe in, root the sit bones down, rise up through the crown of the head, and breathe out into that twist. And then take a few slow, deep breaths here, noticing what the low belly feels like as you breathe. And then coming back through center. Take your palms together, interlace those fingers, press the palms forward and up. So you root down those sit bones, press up through the hands. Keep your shoulders away from your ears if you can. And then we'll twist to the left. Left hand comes behind you, right hand to your knee. Right, root down, rise up, take a deep breath in. And then twist, exhale. Once again, noticing that belly, the expansion with the inhale, and the contraction of the belly with each exhale. And then come to center. Here we'll take the right hand to the floor, just to the side of us, and take your left arm out and up. Come into a seated side bend. Okay, so this means we're just bending to the right. Your left arm comes up along the ear, and your left palm will face the floor. Feel that left hip pressing down toward the ground as you turn the center of your chest up to face the sky a little bit. Let your head get heavy so your right ear hovers over your shoulder. And keep your head and body just as it is. Simply take your left arm out to the side so that your hand hovers, your arm is long, and your fingers spread. You can play around with how high or how low your arm is. You're looking for any sweet spots, any tender spots along the upper shoulder, along the neck. Allow your jaw to remain relaxed and soften the edges of your tongue. And here, take your right fingertips up to the side of your head. And imagine I'm there and I'm holding onto your left arm and I'm gently helping you up. Your right hand will lift up your head. And then you can place down your left hand to the ground. And the right arm will reach up. Let the palm face the floor as you take your arm up along the ear. And you notice that right hip pressing into the ground. And allowing your head just to get heavy, your neck will relax. And your left ear starts to hover closer to your left shoulder. Head and body stays just as it is. Right arm reaches out to the right. Allow your palm to face the floor. Spread your fingers. And you can take your arm up or down, forward or back, till you notice that tender area where you want to pause here in stillness and allow your breath to deepen. It'll start to sound like that ocean wave of a breath washing in and out. And let's take our left fingertips to the temple. And I'm there, I'm helping you, I'm holding your right arm, pulling you up slowly. Your left hand helps your head up. So here we are, we're going to come into tabletop. So that means coming onto your hands and knees. When you come onto your hands and knees, spread your fingers wide so your hands are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. Let's curl the toes under, lift your tailbone up, look up. Look up with your eyeballs. This is yoga for the eyes too. Breathe in. And then round your spine, point your toes, and look to your belly button. Curl your toes. Inhale, lift your tailbone, look up. Round your spine, exhale. Point your toes, look to your belly. And one more. Curl your toes, lift your tailbone, look up. And then exhale, rounding your spine, point your toes, look down. And simply slide your hips back. So you're coming into that child's pose where you rest your hips over your heels and you slide your hands forward. And you can have your head rest down onto your mat. Or if that doesn't feel comfortable, you can rest your head on a block or your hands. And then coming up very slowly, we're going to come into our downward facing dog. So that is just lifting those hips. Your hands are still shoulder distance apart. Your feet are hip distance. And keep your ears lined up with the arms. And here we're going to walk the feet together. Okay, so there's just, feel those big toes touching each other. Then we'll sweep your right leg all the way up and bend your knee. So when you bend your right knee, you can notice your right foot come closer to your left hip. Lift that right knee up, up, up toward the sky. Big stretch. And then go ahead and take your right foot next to your left. So you're coming back into downward facing dog. Left foot lifts up. So you're getting really long with that left leg, reaching it up as high as you can, but gently. Bend your left knee. You can feel that left foot coming closer to your right hip. Start to point your left knee up toward the sky. Big stretch, press into the hands. And then take your left foot next to your right. So you're back into downward dog. Walk your feet up to your hands. And then take two fists in between the feet. So two fists in between the feet is a great indicator of your hip width. That's how wide apart your feet should be when your feet are hip distance. And then you can hold on to your elbows and bend your knees or take a few breaths in ragdoll. So as you rest your belly over your upper thighs, start to take the weight from the heels of the feet and up to the toes, rocking that weight forward, noticing that the pull of gravity along the upper body. Hands will come to the floor, bend your knees, and then start to roll all the way up into your standing. So once you are standing, heel toe your feet together. You can feel your big toes touch. And then sweep your arms all the way up. Let your palms touch above. Take an inhale. And then reach forward, fold, exhale. Line your fingers up with your toes. Look up so you feel that spine elongate. And then you're coming into high push-up pose. So plant your palms flat with your fingers spread wide. Step all the way back into high push-up. Heels back, chest forward. And then take an inhale and tap your knees to the ground. And then strengthen your belly, very important. Draw the belly in, muscles strong, and start to lower down halfway. Bend your elbows, keep them close to your side ribs. And then inhale, lift up your chest, straighten your arms, just as much as you can. Maybe keep a little bend in the elbows, point your toes. And then come into downward dog. So curl your toes under, lift those hips up. And you're just allowing your heels to get closer to the mat. It's okay if they're still very far away. It's early morning, your body is waking up. But if your heels are really high away from the floor, just bend your knees and let your chest come a little closer to your upper thighs. Look forward, inhale, and then walk forward. You're coming all the way up to your hands. Line your fingers up with your toes and look forward, lifting that heart, long spine. Fold, exhale. Bend your knees, roll all the way up. Beautiful, so heel toe your feet together. We'll sweep those arms out and up, palms touch above. And then once again, take your arms wide, and we're going to keep the back long and flat as you fold. So this is swan dive. Okay, line your fingers up with your toes, and then look up, lengthen your spine forward. And then take your right leg back and bring your right knee down. This is low lunge. Arms will sweep forward and up. Beautiful. So feeling that you can lengthen that tailbone down. Feel that stretch all through the front of your hip. And then take your hands to the floor on both sides of your left foot. Curl your right toes under. Lift the right knee. And so now you're stepping that right foot forward about 2 inches, and both legs are straight as you can. You might have your knees really bent so that you can reach the floor. That's okay. You can start there. But you're allowing your head to bow down. And then take your right heel and drop it back a bit. So if you're looking at your feet, your left heel lines up with the middle of the arch on the right foot. Take your left hand on top of your shin, and then take your right hand high. So this is triangle. Stretching, reaching up. And then coming back down. And we're going to step the right foot forward. So your feet are together. Look up, inhale. Left leg back, knee down. So we're in that low lunge just with the other leg back this time. Arms will sweep up. As you let your arms reach up along the ears, keep your shoulders soft. Hands will come to both sides of your right foot. Curl your left toes under, lift the knee, and we're in a pyramid pose. So both legs straighten up as much as you can. It's a great time to use blocks, especially if the hamstrings are screaming, talking to you. You might want to have something, even a chair, so that your hands maybe don't come all the way to the floor. Maybe they're up higher. But wherever you are today, with what you have today, just notice the breath come back to your focus. And your left heel drops back. So if you're looking at your feet, that right leg is as straight as you can, and the heel lines up with the middle of the left arch. Take your right hand on top of your shin, and then the left hand straight up to the sky. And then go ahead and come back, stepping your left foot forward. Look up, inhale. And then take your right knee down, then your left knee down. Have a seat over your heels. Grab a cushion or a block or a pillow, anything that you can sit on. Something, maybe a really thick, good book that you'd be able to perch on comfortably. I'm going to take it and sit. So you might want to sit with your knees bent. You might want to sit with your legs crossed. And if you're chilly, you can grab a blanket and put that blanket over you, or if you have a sweater, just want to get comfy, cozy. And so we're just getting ourselves set up to prepare for our seated meditation. A lot of the times you have to move the body a bit, especially when you wake up. You always want to move the spine in every direction. And we did that. We forward folded, we had some back bend a little bit here, we twisted, we side bent. We did all of that. And so that we can now find ourselves seated without fidgeting so much. So if you ever try to tell somebody to sit still, you're not going to want to sit still. You're just going to want to move. If I tell you to move, get up and do a lot of stuff, you're really going to want to sit still, aren't you? So we'll just find our awareness of that, our motivation for being here, remembering that we want to feel that flow of chi through the body, to sense our own vibrancy and our own vitality. So once you're comfortable, let your eyes rest. And once again, take your palms, face them to the sky as your hands rest over your knees. You can notice the length of the spine. Slightly draw the chin toward the front of your throat. And watch the breath come in. We're going to count the breath in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the top. Exhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause at the bottom. Now continue doing that on your own, counting the breath in, pausing, counting the breath out, pausing. It's not necessarily about how deep you're breathing. The lengthening of the breath is good, but it's not the point. The point is to do whatever it takes to stay focused and be present while paying attention to the breath. Allow your awareness to rest in your lower belly. From here, just notice the rhythm of your own breath. The rising and falling of each inhalation and exhalation. Allow your awareness to broaden. You can rise up to that space in the heart. And just notice what's there. What are you carrying around in the heart here? Start to pay attention to those thoughts that are arising. And expand your awareness up to that point in between the eyes, that space of the third eye, the eye that looks inward. And you can notice what's occurring within the mind. What are you carrying around with you through all these years that just are coming up over and over? What's coming up for you today in this moment? Don't try to stop thoughts that might be unpleasant. Just watch each new thought arise, notice it, and then allow it to float away. And take a deep breath in and out. As you are here with your breath actively relaxing, just see if you can notice that chi or the energy or a very subtle tingling feeling coming through the areas of the body that you worked today, that you moved. Take another breath in, hold at the top for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open the mouth, exhale. You can open the eyes. Take the hands to prayer in front of the heart. We'll bow our forehead to the fingertips. And together we can say, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you feel something, good, bad, whatever it is. I hope you're feeling what you're feeling, and I hope you guys have a really good day.